the OMG Girls at? Were they left back on that Scream tour? Still riding the coattails of mindless behavior? Or perhaps facing a lawsuit against a major doll-making company? The OMG Girls were a force to be reckoned with circa 2012 when they released their 106 & Park hit, Gucci This, Gucci That. The trio, consisting of Zonique Pullins, Bahia Rodriguez, and Brianna Womack, instantly caught everyone's attention with their colorful Kool-Aid dye get-ups during a time when girl groups weren't necessarily selling like they used to. The daughters of profound musical icons, the nepotism obviously worked in their favor, and the OMG Girls, soon enough, would become the poster group, hung up on the walls of young girls and guys everywhere. Long and behold, the three-piece would break up abruptly sometime in 2015, which came as a surprise to, well, none of us, and many believe that mindless behavior had something to do with it. Talk about a time was had. The days of officially misguided, or OMG, were one for the books. Although short-lived, the OMG Girls came, ate the girls up, and dipped like a thief in the night. But before their most notable public appearance, starting with their single Gucci This, Gucci That, the girls were a kiddie quartet established by none other than Tamika Tiny Harris, otherly known as Tiny from the 90s top-selling girl group Xscape. You know, just kicking Xscape, otherwise known as T.I.'s wife. After noticing her firstborn enjoyed singing with her little friends, Tiny got the brilliant idea to create a group for her daughter, along with some of her closest companions. But before OMG, there was the QT Posse, a duo consisting of Zonique and her childhood friend Jasmine. The QTs were very much short-lived, but that was okay. Well, maybe not for Jasmine, but for Zonique? She had her R&B icon mother on her side to guide her through this music journey. And when one door closes, the door doesn't stay closed for long with a mama like that by your side. Soon enough, the OMG Girls would come to the forefront, just not in the way we know them today. Before OMG the trio, it was OMG the quartet, composed of Zonique Pullins, sisters Bahia and Lourdes Rodriguez, and Reginae Carter. As you know, Neek is the daughter of Tiny and Tip Harris, and Reginae, the offspring of the one and only Weezy F baby, Lil Wayne. However, only a few know about Bahia and Lourdes' background. The daughters of John from the 90s R&B group Silk, Zonique and Bahia have been friends since they were pushed out of their mama's womb. Tiny and Shamra Rodriguez, Bahia and Lourdes' mother, being best friends before the girls were even born, and both became pregnant at the same time. The nepotist babies guided by the love, encouragement, and mentored by some of the best to do it. Their parents set out to cultivate their own group stint, apart from the shadows of their famous families. Their first release, Ain't Nobody, was released a year after their cultivated union, but just shortly, Reginae, nicknamed Baby, had exited. Tiny and the rest thought Baby Carter was just a tad too young and wouldn't be fit for the direction the girls wanted to go in. That and Lil Wayne had his own label at the time and thought Reginae would be better off as a solo artist under him. A few months later, the girls minus Reginae released their second single, Haters. And yet again, the thin trio would downsize to a duo after Lourdes was cut due to her young age. Now a duo, besties Zonique and Bahia, or Star and Beauty, would be left to venture out on their own. This didn't last very long as the group was actively searching for a third replacement. In the meanwhile, their third single, So Official, dropped, and OG OMG fans weren't all that aware of the group's changing dynamic. Soon enough, their newest found member would be introduced in the most unconventional yet conventional way, via their bodyguard. Being notified of the girl search for a new member, OMG's bodyguard had shown Tiny a video of a girl on YouTube, Brianna Womack, dancing to Beyonce's song Ego. Vouching for the random find, Tiny agreed to have the girl flown in and audition for them. Little did she and the girls know that the random find wasn't so random after all, and that Brianna was actually the niece of their bodyguard. It may have come as a surprise, but honestly none of that mattered because Brianna was a perfect fit. She was assigned the rapper of the group as well as the main dancer, and although Zonique had her family with her on the daily, Bahia had hers. Brianna didn't really have much, aside from her bodyguarding uncle. She'd often get homesick and felt slightly othered from Bahia and Zonique's lifelong bond. Nevertheless, she persevered and shut it down each time the girls hit the stage. In 2011, the girls set out on their very first tour, the Scream Tour, along with boy group Mindless Behavior, Diggy Simmons, Jacob Lattimore, and more. As the only young ladies on tour, the girls were subjected to online harassment, especially coming from Mindless Behavior fans, which, as you know, were pretty huge at the time. Rumors of potential romance between Ray Ray, Princeton, and them with Zonique, Bahia, and Brianna were swirling heavily, and MB fans were not here for it. Friendship or not, the boys were their men's, and you can tell MB fans anything. One fan via Twitter even threatened to beat up the girls at an upcoming show, and when the fan got there, the girls, more so Bahia, pulled old girl in the back and confronted her. What was said? OMG weren't trying to completely tick off MB fans, nor did they ever intend to. After all, they were just there, being attacked solely for being in close proximity to the guys. Neek, Bahia, and Bree had to let the fangirlies know that they and the boys were just friends. Their careers were on the line, especially since the OMG Girls were being marketed to Mindless Behavior's target audience. The smart marketing worked in their favor, and in April of 2012, the girls' first official single as the new and improved OMG Girls dropped. Gucci This, Gucci That introduced the OMG Girls officially to the masses, and not just under the umbrella of Mindless Behavior. It stayed on the hot R&B and hip-hop charts for 13 weeks and settled on BET's 106 & Park Countdown. Where the boys at? Their second summer jam was nearly as relevant as their first single, maybe just not as culturally well known. On July 14, 2012, it peaked at number 77 on Billboard's Hot R&B Hip-Hop chart and stayed put for 5 weeks. During OMG Takeover, the girls were catching the attention of some of the industry's top artists, like Lady Gaga, who unprovokedly tweeted about the girls via her Twitter, and the queen herself, Beyoncé, who wrote them a personal letter and credited them for creating her 2013 IG handle, @BaddieB, after their song Baddie. As time went on, we'd start to see the girls less and less, and as they got older, their sound had gotten more mature. By the time 2014 rolled around, the girls dropped the Girls from their group name and hit us with a Jagged Edge sample, Boy It's Over, marking their entrance into adult territory. Despite the rebranding of their sound and overall image, the OMG Girls as we knew it was over, and the announcement of their disbandment came in 2015, citing no bad blood. Speculations rose, and some believed that Prodigy, Mindless Behavior's frontman leaving the group in 2013, may have had something to do with the end of the OMG Girls, since MB as we knew them were no more. Other theories consist of their moments of inactivity, and unfortunately made the public lose interest, and the breakup of MB marked the end of an era. Interscope Records were picky-choosy about which songs the girls could release, and the group never even officially released an EP or an album. According to Bahia, the group split had nothing to do with any personal vendetta against each other, but the time period they were in. It was a different day and everyone seemed to be in different headspaces and wanted to see what life was like away from their group. Since the departure, all 3 girls have ventured out on their respective solo endeavors. Bahia stayed with the releases, dropping songs such as My Life and Jealous Type, and Coldest Winter, putting in a lot of effort into her solo career. Despite grinding harder than a meth head's teeth, Bahia admits to being frustrated about the lack of support from the people closest to her. Fans pointing the finger at Neek and her mama, despite no names being dropped. The animated Brianna changed her stage name to Just Bree, and also has been pushing out the singles like her 2017 release, Selfish. Focusing more on message and conscious rap, Bree is doing other things whilst keeping music at the forefront. Neek has also been doing her own thing, releasing an EP, Love Jones, and putting out singles from time to time. With the backing of her parents, Zonique has been able to dabble into activities Brie and Bahia may have a harder time getting into. Her subtle releases here and there are a delight to OMG fans, but they've noticed that Nique just doesn't seem to have her heart in this music thing like the other two girls. More so, it comes across as a side, fun project for her. Nevertheless, thanks to her parents' hit reality show, T.I. and Tiny Family Hustle before its cancellation, Nique was often seen on the show and starred in WeTV's Growing Up Hiphop for one season, along with Reginae. In an unexpected turn of events, maybe even more unexpected than Zonique announcing she was pregnant a few years ago, in early 2022, Zonique brought it to everyone's attention that the popular doll brand, LOL, was biting off her girls. More specifically, their LOL Surprise OMG Dolls collection. Taking to her socials, Zonique posted several slides of her former group alongside a few of MGA's OMG dolls, the older siblings to their younger LOL doll line. Also known as the creator of the company who birthed the iconic Bratz back in 2001. The side-by-side images showed the OMG Girls compared to MGA's OMG Outrageous Millennial Girls line, which debuted in 2019. Showcasing similar hairstyles, colors, and even outfits, many Tiny herself envisioned and created from scratch. Aside from the OMG name being as coincidental as they come, the OMG Girls were originally going to call themselves LOL. Coincidence? Fans immediately began utilizing that one Spider-Man pointing at another Spider-Man meme, whilst others were Matt.com for whatever reason. But according to the majority, sis just may have a case, and did, because in early 2023, MGA Management Inc. versus Harris, U.S. District Court for the Central District of California went to trial. A multi-million-dollar court battle over claims that MGA stole the likeness, name, logo, and overall style of the OMG Girls group. Once MGA caught wind of T.I. and Tiny attempting to sue them, they pulled a them on them and countersued. The trial went in a mistrial after a witness claimed that the dolls were outright cultural appropriation taken from the likes of the Black community, something which the courts agreed to not allow within the trial on MGA's behalf. And Judge James Selna agreed with MGA's argument that the testimony had irreparably biased the jury. They may have been out of the public eye, but the OMGs never stopped being BFFs, even reuniting on the Great Escape Tour in 2018. With them recently teasing us with new music, it's safe to say the OMG Girls are back and ready to drop some heat for Team OMG, not the dolls, yet again. Or maybe they'll pull a Zonique and tell us they're in the studio without actually intending to release anything. Only time will tell. Do you think the LOL Surprise OMG doll stole from the OMG Girls likeness? Let us know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments, and stay tuned for more true celebrity stories.